Well, you know, hardly a day goes by that you don't find something in print about the aging population. I picked up this article, which happened to be in a recent paper, talking about how many people are getting older these days. Well, aren't we all? But one of the problems that seems to be most cantankerous as it deals with older age is Alzheimer's. You've heard of it over and over again. So I thought I'd bring somebody into the studio today to talk about Alzheimer's. And Dana Miller is with Sycamore Village. Dana, it's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Norm.
Sycamore Village deals with older people, I assume. That's what you do, isn't it?
We do. Sycamore Village, we are an assisted living community. We're in Swansea, Illinois.
Okay.
And we specialize in Alzheimer's disease and dementia care.
Oh, you specialize in Alzheimer's.
We
Well,
do.
that's a good reason for me having it. You know, you brought along this pamphlet, booklet, which is headlined Memory Loss. And I guess that's the first question. Is Alzheimer's and memory loss the same thing?
Alzheimer's disease is one form of memory loss.
Okay.
Many people have believed that all types of memory loss fall under the same heading, and they don't.
When I start forgetting things, I start wondering, do I have Alzheimer's? Isn't that what the danger is today? People start thinking that way. But they're not necessarily the same thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Severe memory loss is a symptom of a clinical illness, and severe memory loss meaning forgetting very familiar places, being a danger to yourself and your well-being.
Oh.
Those types of symptoms are, again,
They're what, part of Alzheimer's, or are they separate from Alzheimer's? What are you saying?
severe memory loss is part of Alzheimer's.
Okay, so when you're forgetting where you are or the normal route you take, that may be a signal that you need to be investigated for Alzheimer's, I assume.
Everyday types of forgetfulness, forgetting things you're going into a room for, forgetting your keys, those are not types of Alzheimer's disease.
That's
those
not
are
it. Okay.
just
I'm glad to
everyday
hear that.
memory loss. You're okay.
Because we all have that, yes.
Yes.
But would you consider Alzheimer's a disease, or is it not a disease? Some people think it is, some people think it isn't.
Alzheimer's is a very real disease.
Oh, it's a disease.
It is a very real disease. In the past, people have kind of categorized Alzheimer's as a catch-all, meaning that if a doctor didn't know how to prescribe a certain type of memory loss, they thought that it was prescribed as Alzheimer's disease.
Oh.
Alzheimer's disease is a very specific type of memory loss.
Okay.
It is.
So it's something happening in the brain that causes this malfunction of your memory. Is Alzheimer's one of those diseases that just comes along and, I'm trying to use the right word, is it fatal? Is it something that leads to death ultimately?
Alzheimer's disease eventually does lead to loss of life.
Oh, really?
So the same types of things that decline your mental faculties eventually are going to decline in your everyday abilities, everyday movement, and eventually to loss of life.
You know, my wife has had an aunt who passed away some years ago, and her illness began with what appeared to be dementia, and then she physically deteriorated. And was that? Do you know offhand? Is that part of Alzheimer's, or was that just accompanied with the old age that she was experiencing?
Well, like all of our abilities, memory loss can decline with age.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily saying that she had Alzheimer's disease. So
this was so many years ago, they weren't talking about it very much.
correct.
You know, it wasn't diagnosed today. I guess it's diagnosed more regularly.
It is. It is.
You know, in this pamphlet that you have here, there are all sorts. It has one section called Myths and Misconceptions.
Yes.
Which I think are fascinating because some of them are things that I've heard. For example, we do a lot of soda drinking these days out of aluminum cans, and the question is, or cooking maybe even, it says out of aluminum pots and pans. Does that lead to, that's one of the myths, can that lead to Alzheimer's? Is that something we need to worry about?
During the 1960s and 1970s, that was a very common myth that people believed that using everyday aluminum could lead to Alzheimer's disease, but it has not been linked directly to Alzheimer's disease. So the everyday uses of pots and pans or aluminum cans, those are fine.
Okay. That's a sigh of relief, I think. But here's one that I haven't heard, and I wonder about because I use artificial sweeteners. Is that one of the causes? Have they proven one way or another that leads to Alzheimer's?
There so far have been over 100 clinical studies, and the FDA has not directly linked any type of use of aspartame, the artificial sweetener, to Alzheimer's disease so far.
They have not.
No. So
and there have been how many? Over 100?
There have been over 100 clinical studies.
Yeah. What about things, because every flu season, although this year was a little unusual because we may end up with more than one flu season, people get flu shots. Is that considered a danger in terms of increasing your liability to Alzheimer's?
Flu shots actually have been linked to a lower risk of Alzheimer's disease.
A lower risk?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So, as well as other vaccinations such as polio and diphtheria and things of that nature. Regular vaccinations have actually been linked with older Americans to lower risks of all types of disease.
This one kills me, though. Silver dental fillings increase the risk of Alzheimer's? I hope not.
There has been also no direct link to silver dental fillings to Alzheimer's disease.
That's one of the things that this pamphlet points out. There are so many myths about Alzheimer's. It's good to get some of the facts in future programs. If you can come back, maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it. And specifically about Sycamore Village and what it does. You say you deal primarily with Alzheimer's? Did I hear that?
Sure. We actually, like I said, specialize in Alzheimer's dementia. We are partnered with the Alzheimer's Association. They come out and do different types of training with our employees. They do different seminars at Sycamore Village. We have lunch and learns, we call them occasionally, where we will advertise a certain seminar they're going to put on. We actually just recently had a seminar by them, the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. So they have one of their experts come out and teach the community different points of Alzheimer's that we would like everyone to know about. So Sycamore Village is really trying to be community friendly, as far as we have a resource library inside that we have all different types of information from the Alzheimer's Association and other areas of interest as well.
So you're reaching out to the community, which, by the way, is your job, right? You're the community outreach coordinator for Sycamore Village. And I thank you, Dana, very much for being with us. Appreciate your presence here and the information, killing all of these myths about Alzheimer's. Our guest in this segment of the show, Dana Miller.